Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Justin, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Today, we begin our journey on investing $1,000 every single week into our TFSA for the entire year of 2025. Our portfolio is going to consist of 8 ETFs. We'll go over each ETF as I make my purchases. We start with $2,000 in our tax-free savings account. Our first purchase is going to be ticker symbol VFV.TO. It's the Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF. This ETF will consist no more of 24% of our portfolio. And because we are daily cost averaging our purchases, so we're taking the $1,000, we're dividing it by 5, so $200 a day, and this is going to consist no more of 24% of our portfolio, we'll be buying $48 worth of shares today. So we don't know how many shares that's going to give us. We know we want $48. So let's review that. $48 Canadian, and submit my order. Perfect. Let's go back. I'll have to go to my watch list down here and proceed to buy our next stock. Our next stock, or ETF, my apologies, is VVL.TO, Vanguard Global Value Factor. This ETF will consist no more than 8% of our portfolio, so we will be buying $16 worth today. Same thing. Submit our order. And we are done. Our next stock, or ETF, my apologies, I'll have to correct myself, is under the ticker symbol VXC, a Vanguard Global All Cap Except Canadian Index Fund. So this ETF looks for companies around the world except for Canada. This will also consist no more than 8% of our portfolio, so we'll be buying $16 worth today. So those 3 ETFs all come from Vanguard. They're more or less growth ETFs. So now we're going to go into our 5 other ETFs, which are all going to be cover calls with an enhanced 0.25% on them. So they have a little bit more of an exposure. Our first one that we're going to be purchasing here is USCL.TO, which is the S&P 500 cover call ETF. These ones are going to consist no more of 17% of our portfolio. So today we're going to be buying $34 worth of shares. So $34. Woo, we actually get a full share. Look at us go, guys. $34. Perfect. Let's go back. Let's go find our next one. My watch list here. Our next one here is QQCL.TO. It's the Global X Enhanced NASDAQ 100 Cover Call ETF. And again, it will consist no more of 17% of our portfolio. So we will be buying $34 today. Let's not do that. 34. Let's review it. And let's submit our order. Perfect. Our next 2, or we have 3 left, sorry. Next one here is EQCL.TO, which is a Global Enhanced All Equity Asset Allocation Cover Call ETF. This will consist no more of 10% of our portfolio, so we will be buying $20 worth today. Oh, almost a full share. Oh, it sucks starting out. And again, guys, we are just buying these at market value. Again, we're buying every single day, so it doesn't really matter. We just want to make sure that we're getting our purchases in. All right, here comes some Canadian love. ENCL. This is Global X Enhanced Canadian Oil and Gas Equity Cover Call ETF. That's right. Let's go oil and gas. You need it. And as you can see, these cover calls give you a high yield, but they do have exposure. So this is going to consist no more of 8% of our portfolio. So we'll be buying $16 today worth. Perfect. And last but not least, we'll be purchasing BKCL.TO, Global X Enhanced Equity Weight Canadian Banks Cover Call ETF. This is going to be covering our Canadian banks, so that's where our love is. It's in the oil and the banks for Canada. We got the rest of the world covered as well. So we're going to go ahead and buy $16 worth of this, as it will consist no more of 8% of our portfolio as well. So we're going to hit that review button and submit our order. Go back. If I've done our calculations correctly, go to our home. We should have some pending activities here. Available for trade. 200 not available. Perfect. There we go. That's what we wanted. So our trades are going to go in. Awesome. Now that our orders have been fulfilled, we're going to head on over here to Stock Events app. Feel free to add me. There's my username, Whitaker's World. You can use your camera there on your phone to scan. And follow me on my journey as I do it day to day. We're going to go over to our home screen here and take a quick gander. What I like about this app is that it gives you a lot of upcoming events, whether it's your dividends, whether it's the economics, unemployment rate for the European nation, your ex-dividend dates. Keep going, it's going to say your unemployment rate for Canada, United States, inflation rate, interest rate decisions for all of Europe, Canada, and the US. So that's a pretty good plus to have, as well as it's going to let you know about the markets today. And this is just on the home screen. When you go into your holdings, whether you select up here or not, and you go into, first off, you're going to see your cash, available cash sitting right there. And then you're going to see your stocks or ETFs as we have sitting here. And if we select our analytics, it's going to start breaking it down. Now, it really won't show much in our pie chart right now. If we go into our asset allocation, it might show a little bit more, but because we just started, it's really not going to show us a whole lot as far as colors are concerned. Once we start allocating more funds to this portfolio, it will start showing up a little bit more and fulfilling itself. But it's really cool because you can check the sectors as well, see where you're investing your money, as well as the countries, the types, we're in ETFs, and the industries. So again, it's really tough right now because we don't have a lot of cash in there. We only have $200 on the day, so it's not going to show you a whole lot. When we go to our dividends, it'll do the same thing. As you can see, we're already accumulating some dividends on the year. If we were just to leave it at where it's at, we'd have $16.58 of dividends over the year. And when you scroll down, it's just going to show you Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 on where your dividends and what's going to be coming in. You can also select it just to kind of pull up the actual stock or ETF itself. But when we go into analytics, again, it's going to let us know distribution of our dividends, where they're coming from, etc., etc. And it's also going to break it down in the sectors, where it's coming from, countries, as well as industries. We're all ETFs. And then if you scroll down here, it's going to show you the growth. You can have a 10-year growth, 25-year growth, 40-year growth. And then it's going to show you where you are within the community. We're at 6%. Ooh, that's low. And then what we're getting each month. And this is going to be the fun part, to really watch this kind of swing up as we continue to add into our portfolio. And it'll also show you here when your dividends are coming in. One day. Now we're not going to get any of these dividends because we just bought in, but our next dividend date, ex-dividend date, is in 23 days, so we're going to get that one. Hopefully we'll be closer more to 8% by the time our portfolio is done. So we're just going to take a quick glance and do a little bit more in-depth look at what we're actually buying into. I didn't get a chance to earlier when we were on Wealthsimple, as I was just kind of buying the stocks. I don't want to make these videos too long. But we'll start here with VFV. VFV is an amazing index fund. It just kind of really tracks the S&P 500. When you go to the max here, as you can see, it's up 514% since November 12th, since its inception in November 12th. So, it's a really good growth stock. And, it gives you a little bit of a dividend yield, not too much, but its expense ratio is really down low. So this is going to be our top holder. Like I said, 24% is kind of where we're going to be having that one. We're going to go over into our other Vanguard ones here. We got Vanguard Global Factor, VVL.TO. Again, this one also gives us a dividend yield of 2.17%, $1.13 per share. We don't even own a share yet. And this ex-dividend date is every year, I believe. Yeah, so this one is every year. So we missed it. We got a long way to go. Dividends come in tomorrow, so we got a whole year to go. Its expense ratio is a little bit more, as it is more of a global ETF. As you can see here, we'll go into regions, and it's 71% North America. The rest is kind of all over the place. Europe developed, Japan, United Kingdom, Asia developed, African, Middle East, Europe emerging, etc. And sectors, it's really focusing more on financial, a little bit of consumer as well, and some energy with some industrials, but it really is focusing on that financial sector pretty good. When we go into VXC.TO, the Vanguard Global All Cap Except Canada Index, so it does not invest in Canada. This one gives a dividend yield of 1.44%, dividend of 94 cents per share currently, and again, we don't own a share. Be a while. Looks like our dividends are coming in every quarter. Yeah, it looks like it's a quarter dividend. Expense ratio on this one's a little bit lower. And there you go. You can also check the competitors of these, which is pretty cool. This one is also, like I said, it's a global one. So when we break it down, it's just going to kind of show it's, 67% is in North America. The rest is all in the rest of the world. And then this one gives us a little bit more technology. So it's going to be focused a little bit more on technology. And you can also see the 10% healthcare there. So we're getting a little bit of healthcare with that one. Also industrials and consumer, along with our other ETF there, VVL. when we want to go into our close calls, now our close calls, we are going to be dripping our reinvesting our dividends. So this is UCCL. This is the S&P 500 covered call. And as we can see, this one's only been around for, where is it here? Less than 2 years, so about 18 months. So it's grown up 20%. So we're just going to start investing into this one. This is not going to take more than 34 or 17%, sorry, so $34 it gets every single day. This is a monthly dividend, and it yields at 11.44% currently, giving us $2.76 per share back. Its expense ratio is high because it's a covered call. They are constantly moving money, but it's on par with some of the other ones, so we're going for it. And again, you're going to probably see a lot of technology in this, because it's the S&P 500, some financial, some healthcare, stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're starting with USCL. When we go into QQCL, this is the NASDAQ 100 cover call. So this is definitely going to be more technology. That dividend yield, 11.66, again, $3 per share. And this one is our highest expense ratio, I believe. This is a boomer. But, usually you have to pay if you want on the NASDAQ. It doesn't seem to be cheap to get on it. So we're going to go for it. And let's see how that takes us. And, as everyone knows, when you're investing in the NASDAQ, it's a lot of tech. Got to go with the tech. So you're going to see a lot more technology in there than you would anywhere else. We'll go with our next global one, EQCL. This is another global ETF with an 11.04% dividend yield. Dividend giving us $2.52 currently per share. We don't quite own a share. Again, this is a monthly dividend. Pretty expensive ratio as well, but it moves. And as you can see, it does not perform well compared to the QYLD. However, QYLD has been around for a while. This one is kind of new as well, so it's only been around since October 2023. It's already grown 13%. So we're going to ride it out, see what we can do with it. Again, it's kind of focused a little bit on technology, financial services as its main anchors. It's got industrial and consumer cyclicals as its next in line. And as our regions for this one is in some North America there, 65.5%, and kind of the rest spread out. Hitting Europe developed pretty hard though. You can also see what's in the holdings, each one of them. So let's go into our last two, I believe, which will be our ENCL, which is our Global Enhanced Canadian Oil and Gas Equity Cover Call. So this one is covering our oil and gas. And when we see this, you're going to see a lot of volatility, okay? So I was saying some of these cover calls can bounce all over the place. So if you don't like seeing your numbers bounce on a daily basis, this is not for you, okay? We're going to see how this goes. I'm only going to be committing 8%. And I have a feeling it's going to do all right. It's been since October 2023. Here in Canada, we're about to get a different prime minister. So in the States, they just got their President Trump there was just elected. So we're going to see what happens with the oil here. Maybe we catch it at the right time. Either way, it's given us a massive dividend yield of 18.16%, $3.48 on your dividend. And again, we're dollar cost averaging, so this doesn't scare me as much. Our expense ratio is pretty expensive there, 0.885. And as you can see, it's a new one, so it's not going to have much to really compare when it comes to competitive. And it's just all energy. It's just all energy in all North America. This is Canada, so. And our last but not least, our other Canadian cover call is our banks. So this is our equal weight Canadian banks. So this is covering all of our banks, probably our 6 major banks. That includes National Bank if you want to include them in. It's got a dividend yield of 15.01% with a dividend of $2.94 per share. And same thing, this one's probably going to be bumping all over the place as well, but it's a newer cover call. Canada just kind of started getting these enhanced weighted cover calls by Global X, also known as Horizon in the past. So, I'm kind of curious to see how these things are going to react to the market. And all these cover calls are monthly dividends, and they all have quite a bit of an expense ratio, but we're just going to be rolling it in and seeing where we go. So that's kind of a more detail of our portfolio. And moving forward, we are going to be using a lot more of this app than the Wealthsimple app to kind of go over things, as it gives us a lot more detail, not a little bit, a lot more detail on what we can do with our portfolio. I just want to make a quick disclaimer, guys, that, I am not a financial expert. I'm just a guy trying to build his own portfolio and share his experience with you. Make sure if you do have any financial questions that you go see a financial expert or advisor. Head to one of your banks or something like that and make sure you sit down and talk with them. However, if you do like this kind of content, make sure you smash that like button, hit that bell, and please subscribe to the channel. I'll probably post a video every weekend just to kind of follow up on the progress per week. I've put our Wealthsimple on auto buy, so we'll be buying $200 every single day. And any days that we miss because of a holiday, we'll double up the next day or throughout the week. But it will be $1,000 every single week. I look forward to taking you guys on me with this journey, and I look forward to seeing what the results are week to week, month to month, and at the end of the year. Until next time, see you next video.